Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, Mika and everyone. Mika left out two credentials, though, about me. First, 1992, November, my Haftorah reading was to die for. Secondly, in 2006, I was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. That's right. So were you. That's right. We all were named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. It was a watershed year of civic tech and platforms and our ability to make the democracy that we dream of. And around that time, a good friend who was inspired by Personal Democracy Forum set up a blog for me around Harry Potter. Who here has read Harry Potter? All right, good, okay. For those of you who haven't, just so you know, Harry Potter happens to be a pretty popular book series. And I started writing about Harry Potter and my ideas around it, and he said, you need to go look at the Harry Potter fandom. Now, I grew up as a pretty nerdy guy in the 1990s. I had a hard time attracting girls, and the idea of joining a fandom was like advertising that fact. So I didn't want to do that. But then I checked out fandom of the 21st century and realized that my entire notion of fandom was completely antiquated. Fandom was exciting and cool, and the people that were doing online fandom were at the cutting edge, far more than politicians, celebrities, advocacy groups, far more ahead of all of them. They were cool. And yet, I grew frustrated because with all of the amazing things that was coming out of the Harry Potter fandom, if Harry Potter were in our world, he would do more than simply celebrate the fact that he's Harry Potter. He would fight for justice in our world the way he fought for justice in his. In the books, he starts a student activist group called Dumbledore's Army, and there's all of these parallels that Dumbledore's Army stands for in our world. It's no coincidence that J.K. Rowling used to work at Amnesty International. And so I'm looking at all these parallels, and I start writing about it on this blog that my friend made for me, and then I thought we need to make an organization. And we made an organization called the Harry Potter Alliance. This is 10 years ago, and it's incredible because 10 years later, we have a lot of amazing accomplishments to look at. USC has done research on us that shows a lot of the young people that we have touched. We have over 220 chapters on 6 continents and over 30 countries, etc., would never have become civically engaged were it not for our organization and our way of meeting them where they're at. They have led campaigns that have sent 5 cargo planes to Haiti, built libraries full of hundreds of thousands of books across the world, even gone so far as winning a 4-year campaign with Warner Brothers to make all Harry Potter chocolate fair trade or UTZ certified. That was announced in January of this year. Then we were kind of floored when on the first night of Larry Wilmore's new nightly show on Martin Luther King Day, he had this to say.
This is the most amazing protest of the world, and I am not making this up. The organization Harry Potter Alliance, okay? See, some of you know what I'm talking about. It's true. They waged a fight with Warner Brothers to ensure that all chocolate sold with Harry Potter's likeness was fair trade. And even that worked. Right? That worked. And, I have to say, as happy as I am for the Gryffindor win, after Ferguson and Gardner, it bugs me a little bit that in 2014, this is the only chocolate that got justice. A little upset. All right? Okay. But my point is, it succeeded, okay? So they can work. There is hope.
There is hope. Give yourselves a round of applause because every one of these accomplishments of the Harry Potter Alliance is not simply a one-off victory. Every single one of these accomplishments is a reminder that we were Time Magazine's Person of the Year in 2006. That, as Willy Wonka said, that we are the music makers and we are the dreamers who dream. Did I get that right? I think I did. All of these are building an argument that fantasy is not an escape from our world, but an invitation to go deeper into it. And that as we look at young people who are going deeper into it, who are shaping our cultural narratives through YouTube videos and essentially running the internet, changing the world. We're not looking at the change makers of tomorrow when we talk about young people. We're talking about the change makers of right now, this second. I believe the children are our present. Let's get that into our education system too, in terms of civic engagement and engaging young people where they're at right now. And in terms of the media, in a world where Black lives actually matter, we, the people, are the media. And when our imagination is unleashed, we can ensure that every one of us can indeed breathe. You can applaud at that part. You just should. That's just like a moral imperative. Okay, so moving on, all of this is part of what I call cultural acupuncture, which is finding where the energy is in the culture and moving that energy authentically to create a healthier body for our world, with stories as the proverbial needles, as the things that resonate. What can we do with cultural acupuncture? The sky is the limit. I'm going to go manically kind of fast here. Superman is an immigrant. Superman comes to this country without papers. Boom. Hunger Games. We're doing a huge Hunger Games campaign where we're looking at the Hunger Games as a whole narrative about economic solidarity with the three-finger salute. Can anyone do the whistle? The three-finger salute is connective tissue to every kind of economic issue that exists. In December 4th, McDonald's workers all over the country in over 20 cities went on strike and did the three-finger salute as part of the fight for 15. Elizabeth Warren has done the three-finger salute. Rich Trumka has done the three-finger salute. As you see this picture right here, we juxtapose the beating of minorities, people of color in District 11 with the beating of protesters in Ferguson, Missouri, the Statue of Liberty doing a three-finger salute after Obama made his immigration action last fall. And this is Elizabeth Warren here. And we continue with the first rule of classism in America is don't talk about classism. That's the second rule as well. We're breaking that with hashtag MyHungerGames. People are telling their stories, and it's vulnerable, and it's exciting, and it's amazing. And just to watch, you just watch and you cry. And this year, on October 12th, which is Columbus Day, we will be working with Native Americans, American Indian community, to be dumping hundreds of My Hunger Games stories from the American Indian community. That is on Columbus Day. Now, we track genocide. Genocide has a life to it. The last stage of genocide is it never happened. It's denial of genocide. Columbus Day is a national celebration of the last day of genocide. Seattle just changed that to Indigenous Peoples Day. And we're going to be working to change that starting on October 12th. On this is August 3rd of this year. This handsome gentleman right here is John Green, best-selling author of The Fault in Our Stars, which is also a big blockbuster movie. It was inspired by my dear friend Esther Earle, who passed in 2010 from cancer. Before she died, John said, I'm turning your birthday into a holiday called Esther Day. What do you want it to be about? And she said, I just want people to tell their friends and family that they love them. And thus was born the first ever baggage-free holiday about love. And every August 3rd, people are telling each other that they love them. We want to bring in more partners. It's getting more exciting. Then we go to October 21st, 2015 is the day that Marty and Doc went to the future. We're going to make this Back to the Future Day. Hopefully, we can convince Michael J. Fox to announce it and ask people to imagine a better future as if they were writing from the future about how we solve climate change or some other intractable problem, because where we're going, we don't need roads. But if you remember, in Back to the Future, in the alternative dystopian reality, Biff takes over Hill Valley because he owns everything. And you can't climb a ladder of economic mobility if there's a couple guys on the top of the roof that keep knocking the ladder down, owning the U.S. government. Money in politics. December 18th, Star Wars is coming out. Now, we the people are the force. The birth of the United States of America was a new hope for the force. Then Citizens United happened and the empire struck back. Now we need a return of the Jedi of democracy. We need to come together, all of us, and reclaim, we the people, the force fighting dark money, aka the dark side of the Force, destroying the Death Star of democracy that is the consolidation of money in politics. We're going to do this before the Iowa caucuses. This is December 18th. The Iowa caucuses are in the beginning of February. Imagine people dressed as stormtroopers in Iowa and getting the presidential candidates during debates to have to answer to the fact that Americans all over the country are comparing what they're doing to the Death Star of democracy. How do you respond? Brainstorm with me later, because we're going to figure this out. We're going to blow this. This is like going to open up the whole freaking thing, because we're going to take an issue that Americans on the right and left care about, but we're going to make it sexy and exciting and accessible and magical, and may the force be with us.org. Can you believe that was available? Because may the force be with.us was not available. Isn't that weird? Yeah, okay. So, J.K. Rowling said, we do not need magic to transform the world. We carry all the power we need inside of us already. We have the power to imagine better. Indeed, we do. We have the power to imagine, to go into our civic imagination and see beyond this present reality and work together to engage in a reality that is utopian, but beautiful and pragmatic. And from that place of civic imagination, and from applying cultural acupuncture, and from applying popular culture, this does not need to be the end of the human story. No, it doesn't. We have the power to imagine better. Let's do it together at Civic Hall, and in every hall, in every space, in every magical invisible school that we can possibly find. Thank you. The end. Or the beginning. We get to choose the next adventure. Thank you.